and welcome back to Minor League Esports, presented by APM Music, your content turned up. And as you can see, the bars are turning up big time here at Neo Tokyo. We are at the, I'd say, one of my favourite maps in Rocket League, and we are here with possibly my favourite division to be casting. We have the Premier League, the best league in Rocket League when it comes to quality of play. I am your host for this evening. I am Fallen, and joining me once again for another wonderful night of casting and another wonderful game of casting is my big boy, Lars News. Lars, this really has been an interesting night already, and we're only one series into it.
Yeah, the least expected thing going into that last series was a Knights sweep. Did I think they had a good chance of pulling a win out? Yeah, I think it was fair. It's Foundation League. Anything can happen. I did not expect to see a sweep, but here we are moving up in the world. Like you said, we're in the Premier League. Some of these players running at a 20 salary. That's in the 2K MMR range. The difference between me and these players is the difference between me and a bronze 2. So this is up there. This is incredible. I'm very excited. Expect for some extremely high speed, high octane action as we get into this matchup.
As a player that only at the end of last season hit GC for the first time, I feel like I am entitled to say, now that I have that title, I am on the same level of these players. I'm not, but because I hit the same rank that they did for the last 14 seasons, I have achieved this level. But one of the most important and one of the key things coming into the series, it's the Flames versus, oh lord, I've forgotten, the Dodgers. And the Dodgers are coming into this looking like maybe the favourites. The Flames have been a little disappointing in their play this season, not really getting anything going in terms of game wins. They're 10-15, I believe, currently. The Dodgers, however, 11-14, second in their division, have a lot to earn from getting this win. If they are able to pick up a big series win, they can extend their lead in second place and maybe, just maybe, push on for a playoff spot.
Well, the thing to note here, though, is both teams coming with a little bit of a middling record, that 10-15 for the Flames and the 11-14 for Dodgers, but it's still so important. That big win goes both ways. Both of these teams are just outside of playoff range if they can pick up a really big win here. So both teams need to come up to play. A 2-3 isn't really enough for either team. They have to win on a 4-1 or a 5-0 to put themselves in playoff contention as we near kind of the back half of the season here.
Yeah, the Flames in the Tropic Division have the Sharks and the Shadow ahead of them, both on 17-8 records. It's a very tough division to come out of. As we get game number 1 underway, you've got Tuck and Glax for the Flames, KC Colts and Good Neighbor for the Dodgers. The Dodgers really looking to pick up the slack after their... you know what, I'm not gonna dig it, Sleeky. KC Colts looking for an opportunity here, trying to take this one past the defenders, but both commit and get the ball cleared only as far as Good Neighbor, who's now looking to go for something fancy, gets the read off the backboard, will tee it up for KC, who will slam it into the poster now. A chance early, falls at the wayside for the Dodgers.
We see already off the bat here just that mechanical mastery out of these players. That was a great center pass to beat out the defense. Unfortunately, KC Colts a little overly enthusiastic in the way they put that one towards the net. It's bar and out. But already we're quick back and forth as a big demo opens up the net for the Flames. Just can't quite get there. Dodgers well positioned to keep this one clear.
Yeah, Good Neighbor now looking to try and clear this one, follow it up out of his half, looking to take this one around the corner, but Glax with a great challenge. Will tee it up in the midfield, a great shot from KC, powerful in top corner. The Tuck gets there just in the nick of time and keeps it out. Now looking to carry this one on his hood, gets it past KC, now looking to try and get it past Good Neighbor, cannot. Good Neighbor with a great challenge to keep the ball in the Flames half, but Glax, long ball clear, KC trying to control it. Tuck with a chance just goes wide, and really, it's a back and forth start to this game. I feel like we're only seconds away from the first goal, however, because both teams are looking so threatening on offense.
One team a little more threatening than the other. The Dodgers have 5 shots on net already, but that one's going to roll in as I'm talking. Caster's curse for sure. The Flames on their second shot pick up the first goal of the series. That's down the field, and just an awkward spot for Good Neighbor. Can't quite get there. Even at this Premier League level, it's just weird looking back at the ball and trying to get a good flip into it to get it clear.
We had Exhibit A last game of Caster's Curse, now we're at Exhibit B. This one's my favourite exhibit because it just really shows that in anything in terms of Rocket League, it is momentum based. It is completely fickle, and everything about just how you envision how the game is completely false and untrue, as Tuck will get his second goal in as many shots and double the Flames lead here in game number 1.
That is a great play out of the Flames, getting the demo to disrupt the positioning, forcing KC Colts to be the only person back to make a save. And they're already coming out of the corner. They're on the back wall. Very capable players. But of all the positions to be in, that's one of the most disadvantaged. Nowhere else they could have gone, to be sure. But it's just so hard to change where you're at in the net. And it's so easy with the Flames able to pick anywhere on the net to shoot at.
Just up now to sending that one off the backboard. Glax is up for it. Cannot find the read. Good neighbor will be clear away. Opportunities abound now for the Flames. They've gotten their feet in this game, but the Dodgers still maybe looking for their first goal. That is a read and a half from KC Colts. He buries that one in the back of the net. Finally, the Dodgers have a fold, and they half the lead by 1.
Any other level, and I'd be tempted to say that was just a center pass that happened to work out well. But with these players, KC Colts, that is some 200 IQ. I know exactly how this one's coming off the wall. I'm going to throw that all the way in and catch the Flames with their pants down. That brings this within 1.
Now KC again on the ball. Glax diving in, just not giving them room to breathe. But Good Neighbor will beat out Talk. This opportunity will fall to midfield, but Glax again rotating back well. Now Good Neighbor coming off the ceiling, gets the read, but Talk reads that even better than I thought anyone could ever. A great clear there. But Good Neighbor now with a chance, looks to fake out Glax, who's just not having any of it when it comes to offense. Gets a demo onto Colts. That leaves Good Neighbor the only man back who has just enough boost to get the ball cleared away. The Flames forced to retreat into their own half for the first time here in about a minute, and it will find the back of the net as KC Colts buries that one top corner. Very little you can do to keep that one out.
That is a great turn in transition for the Dodgers. I've said it so many times in so many casts, but I love to take advantage of transition plays to open up the net. And the Flames didn't play it poorly. Had one player challenge, recognized they had another player back to try to keep that one clear, but unfortunately it just gets beat out by the Dodgers coming down. We're now tied up with just under 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, the Dodgers definitely have found a weakness in the Flames defense. They've found a way to get some control in this game. Just allowing Glax to chase in and use the second man to clear the ball away and leave Tuck in a 2v1 situation. It's really worked out well for them so far. And now, maybe trying to recreate that. A little bit of a mistouch there from Glax. He doesn't find the ball. Good Neighbor will find the back of the net. And immediately the Dodgers find themselves a goal ahead with 1:31 remaining.
That's an unfortunate turn for Glax. That is one of those 2K MMR players that we mentioned earlier, and it's uncharacteristic to make that mistouch on the wall. But if it says anything, it really just says that kind of mistake happens at every single level. The big difference is how fast it happens, as that is a little bit of a whiff on the kickoff for the Dodgers, able to scramble back and keep it clear. But they got to be careful. They're making a couple of mechanical errors here, and there's a double commit. They need to settle down and be better positioned to try to keep this one away from the Flames.
Feels like that offensive pressure that we saw so much out of the Flames has also sort of died off slightly here. Glax is not chasing the ball as hard as he was, not really applying as much pressure. And really the Flames are just sort of sitting back a little bit more. They're playing passive, not aggressive, and it's really just, it's hampered their offensive capabilities so far in this game. And there is another opportunity, will not find the shot there. Glax only bumping good KC out of the way. Now, Glax with long ball forward, forcing KC to make the touch into the sideboard. Glax with the centre pass, Tuck wasn't there, and Good Neighbor was there for the read. It's just off target. That was an open net opportunity, but very hard to direct that one. KC with a shot. That one on target, Tuck forced to make a save. Good finish on the sideboard, now will fall to Glax, who will look to try and take this one up onto his hood. Looking maybe to drop it 50 for KC with a great read to keep that one out, a great 50. And the Dodgers will survive. 20 seconds remaining. Can they keep this 1-goal lead, or will they double it here? No, Tuck, great challenge. 15 seconds now. It's all pressure for the Flames. Can they find a shot? Tuck cannot find a way past KC, and I feel like this game is almost tied up.
It's almost, but not quite, as here. One last opportunity towards the net. That's just Tuck over top. It's off the crossbar and down. Excuse me.
Oh,
wow, we had a lot going on here. That is quite a first game. It was so back and forth, and we first saw the Dodgers come out with tons and tons and tons of offensive pressure. It was a great showing, and then it just turned on a dime, and the Flames took that lead. Dodgers slug it out and get back. But speaking of slugging, What I saw from this game wasn't really what I expected out of a typical Premier League matchup. It was more tennis match than slugfest, and I would usually expect and kind of want to see more slugfest. We had the ball going back and forth from goal line to goal line over and over and over again. I'd like to see out of both teams better midfield challenges. Just don't let the ball out at all. Challenge at the midfield, keep that pressure up the field, and stop trying to play in through these transition plays.
Yeah, really, so far, one of the things that really let the Flames down there towards the back half of that game was they were looking so strong and so competent at just keeping the Dodgers penned into their own half. And as soon as the Dodgers were able to find a way to give themselves a little bit more time, a little bit more room, they found themselves pushing off of the defense and turning into really good counter-attacking plays. That is really something that it takes a lot of confidence and a lot of trust in your teammate to be able to have that level of counter-attacking sort of play and be able to play that style against a team that is clearly just as good as you are in the Flames. And speaking of them, we have a player on the field called Glax, a 20 salary player. He isn't just a 20 salary player. This man is a Season 2 GC. This man has been around the block for literally 4 years. And he's still competing at the highest levels, especially here in MLE. He's competing at the highest levels of play and is one of the highest salary players in the league currently. The level of play that that man can perform at, you've got to imagine, are otherworldly.
It's got to be threatening for everybody on this field is a high talent, high skill player, but you just have to have that in the back of your mind, knowing that any of these players really could threaten at any moment to pull out some craziness. But where we really see that mechanics be king is really in kind of the Academy Champ League level play for our league here. After that, mechanical ability starts to stop being a big decider because you start to get into play where everybody has good mechanical ability. Everybody's fast. Everybody can get good flicks, ceiling shots, air dribbles. And it really comes down to consistency, positioning, and decision-making. As here, KC Colts, left alone, gets beat out by Glax, and we're back on the Dodgers half.
Yeah, so far the Flames have been really good as Glax somehow manages to center that one beyond the ball, beyond the middle of the net and almost to the far post. Now, AC getting the beat on Glax, knew that he would dive in with a challenge there. Good read from him. A little bit caught up in the midfield, but Good Neighbor will get it over one. Will lose control of the ball pretty much immediately after. But the Flames, it's really a battle for midfield supremacy so far. Neither team really finding a way. The Flames sort of wanting / needing to get some dominance. They need to pick up a game win here to even the series out at one apiece before it starts steamrolling into the favor of the Dodgers. A good play there from KC though. Will leave Tuck on the back foot. He'll be forced to make a good 50 to keep it out. And now with no boost in the tank and no boost forthcoming, can he find a shot? No, he can't. And it's still goalless here with 3 minutes remaining.
Genuinely impressive amount of time they managed to keep the ball on top of their car with zero boost, though. I know I would lose that much quicker without boost, as that is the Dodgers on the counterattack. You mentioned we've got a bit of a little, midfield slugfest, and that's exactly what I wanted to see. In the Foundation League, in the game one of this game, we see a lot of your defending from your back line. What you want to do is move that wall forward. The further forward you can push that wall you're defending from, the better. This game, much more that midfield play. Ideally, though, you want to get it you're defending from their back wall. You have control of the entire field. So it's going to be interesting to see which team manages that first.
One of the greatest tactics in soccer, in British football, that I really enjoy watching is a play using the offside trap as a rule. If you don't know what the offside rule is, basically it is the idea that you can't have a player receive the ball from a teammate from behind the defensive line, behind the last defender. And in the case of Rocket League, there is a similar style of players. Just will bury that one in the back of the net. I'll keep on my foot just for a second. A great pass there from Glax to tee that one up. But you don't want to have a player so far up on that defensive line that when the defender beats him out, it's immediately a 2v1 situation. They want to always have it in a way where you are keeping yourself and your teammate in a comfortable place when it comes to being able to rotate out of offense and onto defense. But Glax with a 50 of the century will send that one to the back of the net. 2 goals again for the Flames with 2 minutes remaining.
We've got 2 goals to talk about here. First, that send from Glax, and I want to talk about both because they're both heavily on the back of Glax. First, that send in, and it just really speaks to how that back wall passing play works. We saw it work in Foundation League, and here we're seeing it work in the Premier League. Throw it off the back wall, baited. Opportunity is there's a third. The Flames running away. I can't even finish what I was saying. Good 50 from Clax for the second one, and now Just Tuck reading that as the Dodgers fail to get the clear off the back wall, and that is an open net opportunity.
Opening up the Dodgers defense through high pressure, and that is the sort of style of play that we said that the Flames needed to use to try and keep themselves in this game. And really, it's what's worked for them so far, so why change it? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And right now, the Dodgers, they're broken. They need a fix because their defense is just not working. They can't cope with that amount of pressure. An opportunity comes out for KC, but he won't find the way past Just Tuck, and Glax will send that one almost into the back of the net. Tuck will be there for the read, almost defensively saved, but it will find the back of the net as Glax will not only get a low 5, but also the playmaker medal, another passing goal, and another great goal for the Flames.
Just Tuck, that's a gorgeous read. Seeing, we talked about it earlier, that back wall coming across the net, it's a tough spot to defend from. It's very difficult to position yourself well and react quickly. Just Tuck, able to pick anywhere on the net to shoot at, recognizes where the momentum is carrying the Dodgers player, and just flips over, puts it underneath them. That's an easy goal for the Flames, and now they've got 4 with under a minute 20 to go. That's a tough uphill battle for the Dodgers. I think if you're the Dodgers, give the game a wash, say, okay, let's take some time here to figure out what works. And if we get scored on, it doesn't matter. We've already written off, and we're thinking about game number 3. But before we get there, KC Colts, what a flick, and then the follow-up touch. If you like what you see, clip it, hashtag POTW.
I'm out of words. It was a double tap, technically speaking. It was a double tap off of one of the most insanely powerful flicks I have seen in a long time. That was absolutely brilliant from Colts to bury that one in the back of the net. I've legitimately broken. I broke like their defense did 4 times this game, but you know, when you're scoring goals like that, really, does it matter if your defense is, if you're losing games? Because honestly, you're getting the player of the week. KC with the flip reset. I have run out of words. Lars, take it from here.
So first, I just want to say kudos, beautiful, mwah, chef's kiss. It's gorgeous. I love to see it. KC Colts, wow. But then I want to follow it up and talk about the actual game and the impact it has on the game, because where before Flames could be very comfortable in the defensive end, they're not being really threatened. Now they have to respect the attack all the way down that field. That flick came from about midfield, and then that flip reset from the side, it now forces the Flames to be much more cognizant of what's going on. It's going to slow down their decision-making process as they have more to think about coming into it, and it's going to force them to be more aggressive in how they defensively posture, which could put them in a disadvantageous position.
The Dodgers now, they have to go full send. They need 2 goals in 10 seconds, and now, really, with the pressure on for the Flames, they need to just hold out on defense. Another opportunity, but Glax will get the win and will send that one straight in. Doesn't even hit the floor. It's a 5-2 lead for the Flames, and that just about wraps up game number 2.
That's just a beautiful pick. Season 2 Grand Champ. They've had plenty of time to work on their accuracy, sending it all the way down there. What a play.
Yeah, and right now, really, this has been a complete shift up in the level of play from the Flames. They went from being slightly too passive towards the back end of game 1 to being overtly aggressive and really putting the Dodgers to the sword. And right now, I just realized there was a pun there that I just didn't go for. We're gonna ignore it. It's the level of cohesion from the Flames that really took them that game. They were consistently working with each other on offense, taking the Dodgers and turning them inside out, keeping them from getting any real defensive settlement. In a sense, they were forced to consistently be reactionary and making saves and trying to get off of their own defense, but they weren't able to because the Flames were rotating so cleanly. And it's that level of cohesion and chemistry that really just gave the Flames game number 2.
Yeah, it's a great, well-played game out of the Flames. They're bringing such speed and aggression. It's really lit a fire under the Dodgers, get them under fire, under heat, and they need to find something else that's going to work here. And so far, I mentioned earlier, the mechanics don't make a huge difference, but KC Colts showing up mechanically to get their 2 goals of the game. And like I said, you really have to lean on that now. You force the Flames to respect anywhere you are on the field. If you're in the offensive end, the Flames now have to do something about it. They can't be satisfied to say, oh, we'll pick up the save and we'll turn it around, because when you're making those mechanical plays like that, you can't count on the save. Dodgers, throw in a couple more goals like that, and then start to really, really vary how you attack. Get some pass plays, get some of those backboard pass plays, not just rolling through the corner, but throw it off the backboard, bait out the defense, and get a couple more mechanical plays. It's going to really scramble the Flames defense.
Yeah, and really right now the Flames, they've got the momentum on their side. Even though KC almost had the last lap, it was in fact the Flames who got the shot. Ooh. A great opportunity, a great save from Good Neighbor off the kickoff. Another opportunity for Glax, but a great recovery from KC Colts to keep that one out. And the Flames are going to be forced to retreat into their own half and grab some boost on the way there. A great little defensive hold from the Dodgers there to keep that one away. Although it appears... Oh, a demo there onto Good Neighbor. KC now looking to send this one long. Tries to center it, he does so, but Tuck is there. And a good read from Good Neighbor, cutting off that passing lane. That is exactly what the Dodgers need to do to keep this ball in a position where they're able to get some offense going for themselves.
The Dodgers have done an excellent,
they were doing an excellent.
They were doing an excellent job, and I am going to reference it here as this happens. They were doing an excellent job, like you said, cutting off the passing lanes, recognizing where those passing opportunities are coming from, but they're getting caught out again in transition. We talked about it in the first set, the first series from tonight. Get the ball clear to your corner, drive it up midfield, but once you get to midfield, start sending it in, and right there, Good Neighbor with a simple one extra touch gets it past the Flames. I can't even finish what I'm talking about.
He waits for Glax to think that he's run out of boost, and then just gets the extra touch. Tuck's not expecting it. Glax was definitely not expecting it. He was expecting the ball to be in one spot, and then it's just slightly moved 2 inches to the left, and it's just in the back of the net. That's literally all you need at this level of play, because everyone is reading each other so perfectly that when you are able to fake someone out, it is possibly the only way to score at times in Premier League, as this opportunity will now fall to the Dodgers as they look to try and take control in the Flames half. Up a good 15, a good clearance will allow Glax to get the touch over to him. The passing play here, but it's off target. Casey with a good push back out into the midfield. Glax with an attempt. Good Neighbor with the clear, and now the Dodgers looking maybe to control it in the midfield. A chance here for KC, a good 50 from top to keep it under the Flames' control and away from the Dodgers. It's really been a game of, well, two halves in a sense. One team playing aggressive and scoring because of it, another team being given room and being able to absolutely dominate because of it.
You're not wrong, and what's nice to see here, though, is the Flames, just like we talked about, they're recognizing a little bit, they're making those challenges further upfield, they're getting up those midfield challenges, trying to take away opportunities. That's a brilliant 50 out of KC Colts, though. Read that one like a book. Coming off of that big bump from Good Neighbor, just all around great play from the Dodgers.
That's three. I'm gonna start counting all of these different Player of the Week possible plays, and if I don't see at least one of them, I'm gonna feel disappointed in Twitch chat, because you guys should have been voting for at least one of these clips. Just buried that one on the flip reset. But Colts was the only defender back, and of course, he's not going to allow someone to flip reset him after he already did that earlier in this series. Now, Good Neighbor trying to clear this one out of his own half. We'll get it down the midfield line, maybe look to center this ball for KC, but cannot beat Glax to the ball, who now, good clearance downfield. Neighbor with a good tempo tough, and immediately shut off any passing play or any team play that the Flames were looking for. A good beat there from, I believe that was KC. Just getting it straight past Tuck, cannot find the target though, and the Dodgers now trying to settle in on offense, but Tuck's clearance will immediately free up so much time and space, and the Dodgers are going to be forced to settle down on defense again. 2 minutes, 12 seconds remaining. A demo from Tuck, can't find the shot. It's off the post and out, and the Flames may rue that missed opportunity.
Let's talk about control game for a second, because we're seeing examples on both the good and the bad. As that one's a great touch. Just Tuck tries to read the clear, doesn't quite get there, but sends it right back off on the pinch. Just not enough power. Dodgers able to clear it away. But like I was saying, control game. We saw earlier the Flames playing the ball all the way back towards their own net in an attempt to just keep the ball away from the Dodgers. It's something a lot of people take too long to recognize in Rocket League. Is it's not about blindly pushing the ball forward, it's about controlling the ball until you get your opportunity to score. Flames have done a great job of that. The Dodgers struggling a little bit. They're either touching the ball out too far in front of them, allowing the Flames to challenge, or as this one's going to go towards net because I said something.
Oh.
Almost beautiful. Or they're getting out in front of the ball, which you can use. There are ways to play that. We just haven't seen them connect on it as much as possibly they should be.
Yeah, now another opportunity for the Dodgers. Casey puts it high. He gets both defenders to fight. It's the neighbor with an open net, and he will find the shot. Bottom corner, Dodgers take a 3-1 lead. They are really starting to work on offense. Good neighbor took his time with that shot, just slowly pieces it across the line. 46 kilometers per hour, the correct measurement unit there for speed, and that really is a really nice play for the Dodgers.
Yeah, it's simple. It's, again, those back wall passes. It forces the defense to react and then gives you an opportunity to follow it up. Great turn out of the Dodgers, and I guess I just don't have a whole lot more to say. It's just a good clean play. Yeah.
There's really not much else you can add when a play is just so clean and so slick that there really isn't much to commentate on. Now, the Blacks maybe looking for something fancy, just sort of didn't take off the correct way. Dodgers defense a little bit all over the place there, but able to control the ball enough. 30 seconds remaining, and the Flames need to take this one to overtime here in game number 3. They are 1-1 in this series, and that will just roll in. I'm not sure if KC knew that was going in before he left it, but okay.
Sometimes you just make a misread. Sometimes you just mistime that touch on the ground. It happens. You just look to catch, and you just slightly mistime. It bounces over your car and rolls on in. It's unfortunate, but the Dodgers just need to hold on for 20 seconds here. But here they're going to another opportunity towards the net. That's off the back wall. Awkwardly, KC Colts can't quite get there. And the Dodgers now settling into control game, just trying to keep this ball away for another 10 seconds to take game number 3. But what I wanted to say earlier is I feel like we're watching two different series here. We've got the series where you have the Flames running all over the Dodgers, and then you have the series where the Dodgers are slugging it out and beating out the Flames, as that would have been their 4th goal. That had just another second to get there towards the center. Unfortunately for the Dodgers, they don't get to pick up 4, but they do get to pick up the win. They're now up 2-1 in the series, this back and forth slugfest. I want to talk a little bit about scoring opportunities both sides of the ball. And it's something that we've seen the Dodgers do pretty well, but sometimes maybe a little bit lacking, and that's the clears. So first, we're still getting some of those clears upfield. They need to settle that down on both sides, but Dodgers doing a good job clearing out to the side, getting to this sidewall. And from here, there's 3 different ways you can score. First is if your second player is the first one out here, they can actually leak out ahead of the ball and be looking for a passing opportunity up this way to connect and beat out the defense quickly to the net. The second one, if that second player, again, out in front of the ball, can rotate through, get a demo here, and open up an opportunity in front of the net. And then the last, of course, is you've got one player controlling the ball up the side, a second player coming up midfield, just a quick pass out across, and that's going to come in. We've seen all of that happen, and that pass also doesn't necessarily have to be straight in. You can throw it off this back wall to bait out the defenders like we've talked about. Lots of different opportunities coming up the field. You just have to effectively control it through that process.
Yeah, and really, so far, the Flames, they've had moments of having that control, but overall, they've sort of struggled to find the correct level of control consistently. We saw it in Game 2. They were able to keep the pressure on for the majority of the game and only really laxing in the last 30 seconds. But they don't seem to have that level of play every single time, and the Dodgers are able to find gaps in that pressure, able to capitalize on those mistakes that they are making. And really, one of the things that the Flames, I feel like they have to do, is they have to find a way to get an early lead. Because the last time they got an early lead, they took the game win. But as soon as they allowed the Dodgers to get their momentum going on offense, their defense sort of falls apart, and the Dodgers find themselves in a much stronger position, ready to take this series.
Not just an early lead, though, and I know how this sounds. It's going to sound stupid, but bear with me. They need to lead by more points. They coming into this last minute and a half of the game, they have to have a 3 or so goal lead. We remember in Game 1, the Flames were leading 2-0 over the Dodgers, and Dodgers scored 3 unanswered to get all the way back up and take the win away. What they have to do is get up and then stay up by a good margin. So going into that last minute and a half, it puts tons and tons of pressure on the Dodgers to be overly aggressive to score goals, and just allows the Flames to just hold on and take advantage of it.
Well, we are here in game number 4, and it's all to play for both teams. Both teams needing a game win here to really start pushing forth their promotion and their playoff aspects. No, there is no promotion in MLE. They are in the highest league of all the highest leagues. It's just playoffs. I don't know why I said promotion. Great shot from KC. Almost finds the back of the net. Tuck diving around on defense, not able to find the ball, and he needed it. Good neighbor. Challenging Glax. A good touch there, but Tuck with no boost went for that ball. Couldn't find the touch he wanted. Glax now all on his own will tee that one up in front of the net, but good neighbor recovers in time and clears it away to the corner. And the Dodgers will somehow, some way, hold on defense here with the first 45 seconds gone. I honestly thought that one was going in, but Casey will make the save.
Dodgers have done a really good job despite being under tons and tons of pressure right here. They've done a great job keeping boost managed, but it's not going to do them any good. Is that touch off the back wall? Glax able to follow it up and put this past as both Dodgers caught in a weird position in front of the net.
Yeah, they had both halves covered, but they didn't have the middle covered. And in that case, that's the exact position that Glax put that ball. Finding the perfect position that the last defender couldn't keep it out. It's really well played from Glax to actually find that shot. Normally you just throw yourself at the ball and just say wherever it goes, it goes. But this level of play, the amount of time and the time these players have put in to finding those perfect shots, the final position that they need to put that ball to keep it away from the defender is really on a different level. And there's very few players in the world that can do this level of just straight up mechanics and have so many thoughts going on at the same time, having to input so many different buttons on your controller to keep that ball in a position where you're able to pull something like that off.
Yeah, speaking of few players in the world, the Season 14 GCs, that's about the top 0.2 to 0.5% of the player base, as Just Tuck is able to walk away with that one. There's not a whole lot to say there. Dodgers get beat up field. Both commit up forward, and there's no one there. Just Tuck, no boost, doesn't matter. Gets the wave dash in the final touch to give him the 2-0 lead.
Last time we had a 2-0 lead, the Flames did take it. However, the first time they had a 2-0 lead, the Dodgers took it. Really, this is the decider, I feel like. If the Flames are able to take this one as they almost go 3-up immediately, the Dodgers unable to get off of their own defense here, finally getting the clear downfield. But for some reason, I feel like this attack could have come to nothing. Tuck just seems to have a lot more control over the ball. Gets the mid-boost steal. Good neighbor is there, but Glax with a great challenge on a slightly out of position and almost out of sorts. Good neighbor, unable to really follow it up, however. Now, Just Tuck going to look to clear this one downfield. Gets the beat onto KC. That is a dunk and a half. Can he find the angle? Yes, he can. And Just Tuck is having an absolute brilliant offensive game right now to keep the Flames ahead and now stretch the lead to 3.
Just Tuck's last goal coming off of a good read on a pass attempt, intercepting and taking it away, but now making their own luck, doing a great job positioning their car as they come off the wall to get that beat, get that 50 win. 3-0 for the Flames.
Yeah, it's really been a Flames showcase in this game. It's just been them taking the Dodgers defense and saying, you don't exist, we don't believe in you, and they're finding goals out of nowhere half the time, and then they're just finding open nets as well on top of that. It's really just been a case of Dodgers defense not really being rotationally as sound as it has been. A good attempt there though on the offense for the Dodgers. KC looking for the bump, but Tuck will be forced and will successfully make a save. Now, KC trying to carry this one out into the midfield. Glax there reads that touch and will send it back into their half. Again, dives in, will get a favourable 50. Now looking to maybe send this for Tuck. He will find the pass. It's 4 goals for the good. It's a hat-trick for Tuck. And really, this game is starting to turn into a rout.
It's unfortunate for the Dodgers. They're getting beat out just everywhere on the field, and the defensive end, they just can't seem to keep the ball from rolling in front of their net. On the offensive end, they're not maintaining control of the ball. As soon as it gets to midfield, it just seems to hand off to the Flames to allow the Flames to re-attack up the field. They need to do a better job with that control. I do want to mention in that passing play, though, that corner ball, not high percentage, but what you can do is once it comes out of the corner, pop it off that back wall, throw it out in front, and if your teammate's ready for it, and if the defense is caught out of position, it's a goal every time.
Yeah, normally the defender is already rotating from post by that point when it's rolling around the corner, and it's a great way to catch him off guard if you just play it out over the top of him instead of just letting it roll into him. And in that case, it worked out perfectly. Left KC flat-footed on defense. He just couldn't get there to keep that one out. And now Tuck, with a bit of room, bit of space, bit of boost in the tank, tries to go low, but KC getting a touch and good neighbor with a good rotation to keep that one out. Now, Black's looking to try and control this ball in his own half. Can't get the right touch, will be forced to make a save off of good neighbor's play. Limited boost for KC, will get it off of the respawn, perfectly timed, just as he needed it, as he came under pressure. Now good neighbor with a bit of room, bit of boost, looking for the air triple, but Blacks with a gain, the perfect challenge to keep that one out. 35 seconds remaining. This game has been all flames. The Dodgers have had very little to speak of in terms of offensive capabilities, and Tuck has just been the MVP for the Flames. His play on offense has been second to none, and that was almost another one.
That would have been beautiful. I was expecting the flick there, and I think the Dodgers were too, which is why you see Tuck choose to just drop it down and catch it. Unfortunately, Dodgers well positioned to take advantage of that and not allow another goal, but it's not going to matter as the Flames take game number 4, 4-0, and we go in our Premier League matchup to a Game 5 decider. Just Tuck 5-0 with the 0-second goal.
That was a good read from Just Tuck there, but this is really teed up so perfectly. Anytime that the Flames have found a way to get those early 2 goals now, that they've found some comfort in their own defensive capabilities, they've won. Game 1, you can chalk it up to nerves. You can chalk it up to complacency. Now, they're not complacent. Now they are at their peak and they are playing at the best of their form. If they can get that early lead, the Dodgers have no answer. They are forced on defense and they can't get anything going because of the offensive pressure that the Flames are able to put on is on a different level right now. You saw in that game, 14 shots, 7 saves by the Flames. The Dodgers had 9 shots and 6 saves. Sounds pretty even, except the Flames scored 5 goals, the Dodgers scored nothing.
The Dodgers just not getting good quality looks towards the net. And I know we just brought out the board. We're going to bring it one more time really quickly because we talked a lot about how these upfield plays can be to the advantage of the Dodgers and how they can take advantage of those. And the Flames just doing a better job of exactly that. So I'm going to suggest one more kind of play. The Dodgers do one thing well, which is as one player comes up the side to drive that ball out, a second one tends to be somewhere in the midfield. So the last thing I'm going to suggest for the Dodgers, the Dodgers is rip it off the sidewall into center, more closer to midfield, because the Flames are challenging up the side very quickly. It's going to leave them out of position. Yeah,
and really, right now, for both teams, especially the Dodgers, they need to find that early goal. If they can't find that early goal, they find themselves on the back foot way too early and they're not able to get back into the series. So, as we get game number 5 underway, are we about to see a repeat of game 4? Or are we about to see a repeat? Oh my lord, Tuck! Repeat of game 4 is apparently what we're going for. Tuck, what is this?
That negative angle cutback is absolutely obscene. KC Colts. As much, I think everybody recognized that, okay, it's past the net. We can start to come out and start to play her upfield. But wow, what a cutback for that quick goal right off the bat here. Now the Flames following it up 14 seconds in, and we've already got 2 to the Flames.
It has absolutely shaken the Dodgers defense. Casey with an uncharacteristic miss there in the corner glass with an open net to shoot on will just find the perfect spot. Good neighbor not able to get back in time, and really, you've got to feel that when you get styled on in the first 10 seconds, to the extent that they just were, that breaks any morale you came into that game with. Now, Blacks looking to try and clear this one away. Casey able to dive in there, and good neighbor will get the shot, immediately halving the lead. They are keeping themselves in this game. They are not letting the Flames run away with this one. A great play and a great piece of challenging there, but the shot, 127 kilometers per hour off of just a straight shot. That is an insane amount of pace.
It's a ridiculous amount of power in that shot, and a couple of things here, Fallen. One, 27 seconds in, we saw 3 goals. That's a goal average of every 9 seconds. That's less than 10 seconds. It's incredible. But the second thing I want to point out is in the intermission, you said the Dodgers, if they want to have a chance of winning, need to find an early goal. I'd say in less than 30 seconds, that's early. And here, in less than a minute, they're going to tie it up. Great defensive play to open up that opportunity.
I asked, are we seeing a repeat of Game 3 or Game 4? This is a repeat of Game 1. We're going all the way back to the beginning of this series, and it's tying it all together in a beautiful little knot. It's 2-2 with 49 seconds gone. We're not even a minute into this game, and we're already getting a speed run of every game that's come beforehand. Tuck now trying to get the early goal here off the kickoff to try and make it 3-2 for the Flames. The first time they would have led 3-2 since, I believe, their Game 2 win, I'm going to assume. No, they led 4-0 on that. My apologies. Glax now trying to 58 past Good Neighbor. Will get the boost steal, even though he can't. Now, the ball across midfield. KC calls. It's very hard to commentate Premier League gameplay as a play-by-play because there's so much going on. KC, they're going to send this one long, and Tuck will be there to meet him. Sends it up towards the backboard, but Good Neighbor, good read into his own corner. A shot from Tuck. It's off the backboard now. Glax with the recovery. A great shot off the post. Tuck with the recovery as well. The backflip goal. It's in the back of the net. Minute 30 gone. 3-2 Flames.
Wow, that is... It really, again, it comes back to what we mentioned multiple times tonight. Repeated pressure on the net. You can see where the Dodgers, they generally have a really good, solid defensive rotation. And even there, they started out with a good defensive rotation. But as those rapid-fire shots came one after another again and again and again, as that dunk from Just Tuck shuts me right up. Wow.
There's not much defense that can really keep that out. Casey dove in, back flipped off of Just Tuck. Didn't take him out of the play. If he'd have front flipped, maybe, because that would have taken him off the ball. But in this case, the Dodgers find themselves 2 goals down yet again. Can they find a way to come back into this? Just like they did at the beginning of this one. KC's going to let that one fall for Good Neighbor. Good Neighbor tries to flick it over the top. Tuck will get a 50. Now KC diving in. Glax will get the beat. The Flames starting to apply the clamp in the midfield. A good bump there from Glax to keep Good Neighbor away from the ball. Limited boost here, but he'll still get it past one. He has a chance to shoot here, but Tuck recovered well, kept it away, and the Flames will hold their 2-goal lead. And now, maybe trying to push on for a third goal to add to that cushion. They can't seem to get it past Good Neighbor and KC right now. Good attempt on the bump play, but Glax with the dive on that challenge to keep the flick out. And the Dodgers will find no way back into this game. It's halfway, it's 4-2 Flames, and really the Dodgers need to find a way to break down this defense soon, or they're going to find no goals and a loss on their series record.
So far, I just feel like the Dodgers are getting outspeed by the Flames. The Flames doing a great job being in the right position at the right time and then getting to that ball fast. They're going to need more from the Dodgers. We saw them looking for that bump play. I think it was the right move. Give Casey Colts the opportunity to flick, but there, Just Tuck over the top. Is the Dodgers really a savable ball? Just make a missed touch.
I think Good Neighbor called KC off of that, said, no, I've got it, don't worry, and then gets a phantom touch and it just rolls in. You've got to feel bad for that one. And it's 5-2 now, and one of the key proponents of the Flames getting that pace, getting that beating, it's something that we've seen all game long, is Glax has just been consistently outpacing the Dodgers offense and just cutting them off whenever he needs to. Tuck now trying to repeat that, gets the ball, it's a good bounce off the midfield. Glax will take the shot, diving in as fast as he can, and will send it home. It's 6-2, and I feel like this game is starting to get away from the Dodgers just a bit.
That's a good, clean shot out of Glax. Nothing fancy, gets off the wall, rolls upright, sets themselves up into a nice position, and then throws it downfield to get that 4-goal lead. And I'm with you. I'm a little scared, Paul, and I'm afraid we're going to see the Flames run away with this. If the Dodgers don't score in the next 30 seconds or so, I think that they're going to be in too deep a hole.
Good demo there from Good Neighbor, but Tuck somehow still had control of that ball. KC will get the beat and will find the goal. Minute 30, bang on. It's 30 seconds a goal now to get to an overtime. Can they do it? I mean, with plays like that, yes, because that's a great play from KC.
I have faith. I have faith. A goal every 30 seconds at the Premier League level. If you can find a crack in your opponent's defense, it's very doable.
Yeah, and right now the Flames' only weakness seems to be getting outpaced. Glax again, though, beating a man on the sidewall. Now maybe looking to tee this one up for Tuck. Will rotate out instead, and Tuck will also rotate out as Good Neighbor sends that one long and on target. Get a boost steal on his rotation now. Here comes KC, sending this one. Gets the flip reset. No, he doesn't. It just falls to the floor, and Glax now coming off the ceiling. Will get the ceiling shot. It's on target, but it's weak. Good Neighbor able to just rotate back in time. That is a rule, I think an attempted rule 1, just Tuck being bumped like crazy on defense, and Good Neighbor will shoot onto what is basically an open net.
And it's an open net, but that demo, I don't know if you saw, was Glax and not.
Oh.
Glax got the demo running out of position to try to free up their teammate, putting the wrong priority in place. They would have been able to get that save had they not tried to go for that demo, and they really just took themselves and their teammate out of the play. So now we're still on pace. We need 2 more goals for the Dodgers to force the overtime in the Game 5 decider.
That touch from Good Neighbor will not equal to anything. KC with a good controlling touch, looking to hit it down towards Good Neighbor, will not find the pass that he needs to. Tuck now trying to just play patient here, just keeping it away, gets the flip reset and flips himself. KC with the dunk attempt, but Glax is there for the save, and now Tuck with time, with space, takes it up to the ceiling. Good Neighbor demoed by Glax, and that will be game, set, and match. 7-4 for the Flames, and a great little play again on offense. Glax getting rid of the defender, and Tuck just giving an easy shot.
It's a pretty shot, though. I'm not going to lie. But you are correct. Unless we get a couple of very fast kickoff goals here, is it doable to score 3 in 19 seconds? Yes. Is it likely?
No.
No, not really. No, it's not. Especially as this one turns very quickly. And Glax off the ceiling again. We're seeing more pressure out the Flames. Man, has this been... What a series. Wow.
What a day. What a day of series so far, as the Flames will let this one touch the floor. It's 5 games gone. It's 3-2 Flames. They take this series, and for the first time in this series, they won an odd number of games. They won 2 and 4. Dodgers won 1 and 3. If we're talking just general, like the way sequences work, that game should have gone to the Dodgers. But at the end of the day, Tuck decided to turn up on offense. 5 goals to the good, getting enough to win the game just by himself. And really, he gave him the win.
I think we've said enough about this series, but we got a couple of things we want to say here before we move on. The first is, man, I have had a lot of fun casting here tonight. I am done casting as is fallen, but we are not done with Minor League Esports Network action for the night, so make sure you're hanging around. But with all the fun I've had, I hope you've had fun too, and I hope that's been enough to convince you to join the Minor League Esports community. If you want to, MLEsports.gg/apply. It's a great community. We've got leagues for every level of play, all the way from this Premier League all the way down to Foundation for our lower level players and everything in between. MLEsports.gg/apply. Also on the MLE Sports website, we've got merch, articles, power rankings, and stats. Everything you'd expect out of a competitive esports league. Also, on top of everything else, if you need, I know I'm pretty tired. I got a lot more stuff to do tonight. I got more video games to play. So I know I'm going to be turning to Balls Guarana for some energy to keep up this night, keep us rocking and rolling. If you need some energy, Balls Guarana is the one to do. It's a highly caffeinated beverage. It's great. I think we have a discount code. We'd have to double check that, but I think MLE gets a discount code as well. Speaking of Balls Guarana and Play of the Week and High Octane Play, the winner of the Play of the Week gets a case of Balls Guarana. So as we drop to our intermission here, we're going to get to see who won the Play of the Week. So stick around. We'll be back with more Minor League Esports action after this intermission.